Hello and welcome to the Hi Hat Film Review with me, Michael Clancy. This week's film up for review is Nightcrawler, which is the new feature from director Dan Gilroy, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Rene Russo, Riz Ahmed, and Bill Paxton, and is on general release right now in the US and in the UK. Gyllenhaal is Leo Bloom, a petty thief with lofty, if unrealised, ambitions. While exploring the streets of LA at night, Bloom stumbles across a roadside car crash, and in doing so gets his first glimpse of the world of freelance crime journalism. Enticed by the cash-in-hand nature of the work, he decides to give it a try. His driven nature and questionable morals make him a quick success, but as his obsession with getting the most lucrative, i.e. graphic footage, grows, Bloom isn't content with just capturing the news, but manipulating it and creating it as well. The film is written and directed by Dan Gilroy, who in the past has writer's credits for films such as Real Steel and The Bourne Legacy. This marks his directorial debut, and if truth be told, it's one of the strongest debuts I've seen in quite some time, as Gilroy has managed to make a film that is blisteringly bold, dark, and interesting, with Bloom being represented as one of those classic American anti-heroes, a loner, much like Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver. But whereas De Niro's character was being driven by loneliness, there's nothing so much motivating Bloom as greed and ambition. Gyllenhaal is just tremendous in the role of Leo Bloom. We saw him last year putting in a great performance in Prisoners, in which he spent the whole time blinking to reflect the inner turmoil of his character. Here, he barely blinks once, boring a hole through the screen with his gaze. The fact that he can make Bloom, a character with seemingly no likeable qualities whatsoever, so watchable is a testament to just how good a performance it is. Rene Russo is equally strong as station manager Nina, who often seems disgusted by Bloom and his actions, yet is more than happy to put all of his graphic images up on screen in her desperate quest for ratings. And it means that she's an enabler to Bloom's dangerous obsession. While often deriding Bloom for his cold, callous nature, in reality she's no better than him, and while they make an odd couple, there's no doubt that they do deserve each other.
Well, I heard somebody yell to come in, and when nobody was inside, I left.
And the only shot of the couple is through a window.
The police were shutting it down.
No, I don't like it.
Like what?
The footage looks like he broke in. There's no close-up of the homeowners, and he's giving us their name off a piece of private correspondence.
Excuse me, that's junk mail.
Well, I have a problem with that.
We'll knock out a killer package.
This is my job.
No! Your job's writing the tweet of the day and getting Deb to turn sideways during the weather forecast. We're running it.
Great performances aside, the film is a study of the ugly side of the American dream, with Bloom viewing himself as a self-made opportunist willing to step over anyone to get to the top. Watching him trample over the competition, as well as any journalistic integrity, really is a sight to behold, all the while commenting on the nasty, exploitative, fear-mongering nature of American news networks. It's a remarkable film, one of the best of the year by quite some distance, and I believe going down the line it will probably sit alongside Taxi Driver as one of these great examinations of the American anti-hero. Gyllenhaal is absolutely terrific, and you can expect him to be amongst the awards nominations in the coming months, I'm certain of that. The term modern masterpiece has been thrown around to describe this film, and whereas it might be a little bit too soon to call, in all honesty, it's not that far away.
The name of my company is video production news, a professional news gathering service. That's how it should be read and that's how it should be said. I also want to go to the next rung and meet your team, and the station manager and the director and the anchors, and start developing my own personal relationships. I'd like to start meeting them this morning. You'll take me around, you'll introduce me as the owner and president of Video Production News, and remind them of some of my many other stories. I'm not done. I also want to stop our discussion over prices. This will save time. So when I say that a particular number is my lowest price, that's my lowest price. And you can be assured that I arrived at whatever that number is very carefully. Now, when I say that I want these things, I mean that I want them, and I don't want to have to ask again.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Hi Hat Film Review. For more witty, film-based observations condensed into 140 characters, be sure to head over to Twitter and follow me at Clancy Hi Hat. And if you want to join in the fun and games over on Facebook, there is also a Hi Hat Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com/Hi Hat Film Review. And of course there is the fantastically brilliant, wonderfully exciting Hi Hat Film Podcast, which I host, have different people on every week making cases for films to go into the Hi Hat Hall of Fame. Be sure to go over to iTunes and subscribe to that. It's a really great listen. And if you like the show on iTunes and you want to leave us a wee sneaky review, 5-star review, then that would be amazingly helpful as well. But that's going to do it for me this week. A tip of the hi hat to all of you, and I'll see you next time.